Have you ever felt like you're sitting in God's waiting room, your prayer sent up, but all you hear is silence? Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and loneliness creeps in, making you wonder if anyone heard you at all. You see others receive their answers, and you ask, God, have you forgotten about me? Doubt grows, and you question your faith, your prayer, even God's goodness. The enemy whispers, God doesn't care. He said no. But here's the truth. God's delay is not his denial. His silence is not his absence. Just because you can't see the work doesn't mean the master isn't working. He is a God of perfect timing, seeing the bigger picture we can't imagine. You are not alone in this waiting room. Heaven's history is filled with stories of saints who waited. Their stories don't end in the waiting room. They end in the fulfillment of God's promise, often in ways more spectacular than they could have dreamed. Let's walk through their stories and find strength for our own journey. Abraham and Sarah were promised descendants as numerous as the stars, yet they were old and childless. Year after year they waited, watching their hope fade as time passed. Sarah laughed at the promise, not out of joy, but disbelief. Their faith was messy, filled with doubt and mistakes, like trying to force God's hand with Hagar and Ishmael. But God's promise didn't depend on their perfect faith, but on his perfect faithfulness. When Abraham was 100 and Sarah 90, the impossible happened. Sarah gave birth to Isaac. The laugh of doubt became the laugh of joy. Their 25-year wait wasn't denial. It was divine delay, preparing them for a miracle only God could deliver. Their story shouts, God keeps his promises, even when they seem long overdue. Waiting is not wasted, it's the stage for God's glory. If you're waiting, remember, God's timing is always right. Trust his process, even when it feels impossible. The promise will come, and it will be worth the wait. Joseph had dreams of leadership, but his path led from a pit to slavery, then to prison. Betrayed by his brothers, far from home, Joseph's dreams seemed dead. Yet, in suffering, he held on to integrity and served faithfully, even in prison. 13 years of chains and darkness tested him, refining his character. God was shaping a slave into a statesman, teaching humility and reliance on him. The prison wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Then, in a single day, Joseph was summoned to interpret Pharaoh's dream. He went from prisoner to prime minister, saving Egypt and his family. The dreams God gave him came true, but only after a long, painful wait. Joseph's story proves, waiting is preparation for a purpose greater than we imagine. Trust God in the darkness. He's working for your breakthrough.